Welcome everyone to Ascension to the 10th Dimension, a LEA sim that we're going to take a look at today that's been out for a while now. And I finally got around to it, and as you can see on this note card, there's a lot of teleports to 10 different dimensions, and I looked this place over a bit earlier and I didn't find natural teleports between the dimensions, or at least from what I could tell. So we're going to be using this note card throughout in order to actually go upwards through the dimensions to the 10th dimension. So right now we're at dimension 0, which I guess is like the void dimension or null, where there's nothing actually supposed to be here, as the note card says. So we'll be taking a look at this place first, and from what I could tell from my go through earlier, this dimension is pretty big. There's also mountains that you can claim as your own if you send a message and a picture. As you can see with the text around these little glowy spots. So yeah, we'll be just traveling through each dimension at a time, and we're just going to circle around this dimension, taking the sights. It sort of looks almost deserty, or perhaps a mountainous region devoid of life, essentially. And some parts of it look kind of alien like this. What I really like are these swirls. This is a really nice job, and you only really see this with the advanced lighting on. Advanced lighting is always usually a good idea to go through an LEA sim with if your computer can handle it. Here's some spear looking thing here. And this gray thing over here with the reflections upon it is where we start out. That was the room we just came out of when we first started this video. And here we have ribbon-looking things, though they do seem to have a little bit of movement to them. Some bubbles going off right there. That's not a usual sight here. That's actually the first time I've seen that. That's one of the only spots here on this region that isn't claimed yet, right over there. Some spires spewing off into the sky here. Some rocky spires. And some fog rolling through as well, as you can see. And the area here is light up in a really nice red and purple. Though it doesn't look like there's anything else back this way. This looks like perhaps a heart with something inside of it. Well, this is a bit different. It has a name, but that's not the general light that we see for these. And I think over there is where we started. And as you can see, this dimension's actually under the water, the free water of the region, so automatically when we got into fly mode, we were actually swimming through the air. And these, I'm not sure about what these are. Black and white cylinders, but some of them have a very loose, rubbery look to them, too. You can see it right there when I'm talking about how they're just sort of moving from side to side around the top, as if they're curving. I think now we'll go ahead and just sort of fly over this area real quick so we can check out anything we might have missed, as there could be a couple things hidden in the crevices, like right over here. There's this weird red emblem right here. Yes, I'm starting to see familiar landmarks now from where we were before. And we even have a utterly turning cube here that we completely missed before because it was hidden in this crater. And I think now we'll go ahead and ascend on to the next dimension. The rest of these dimensions, for the most part, are smaller than this one, so we'll probably go through a couple of these fairly quickly. So now we'll be heading to the first dimension. And there should be something right in front of us here. Yep, here we go. And this would be the first dimension, where the only things that exist are things of length and width, but no depth. And pretty much all there would be just simple lines moving back and forth. Alright, we'll go ahead and move on now, I think. And now we'll head to Dimension 2, which has angles. I don't see an actual message for this one, so we'll just go ahead and approach this giant cube. I'm getting a lot of group notices all of a sudden. And there's a little bit of text in the cube, it looks like, so we'll go ahead and head up there. And the glow here is just absolutely off the charts in front of this cube. And we can see what looks like a simple math equation in there. I'm trying to see if I can find a way in, but I'm not actually seeing a door or anything. So I assume you're not actually supposed to get in there. And it tells us to think about it. This is probably about the best I'm going to get to it. Alright, and now we will head off to the third dimension, which is our dimension. So, this will probably look fairly normal, I imagine. Having to wait for things to res in here, unfortunately. And we can see various things sort of just floating around here. Lots of forest life for sure. Even a path up this way. I assume this is supposed to be potentially like this. We'll just follow the floating path. And the path ends right here, and we can still see some stuff floating around up here, like a tree stump with looks like a squirrel on it. Windmill, or at least part of a windmill. Some shrubbery just floating around. There's also a pond over there. Some ferrets defying the laws of gravity. Ah, it's changing the pictures. Well, we can see that, I guess. The eye is watching us. Looks like a what would be in a garden, basically, like an overgrown one. What? Can I not land on it? Okay, there we go. And I think that'll be it for the third dimension. So I'll head off to the fourth dimension now, which is time traveling in the opposite direction. You can see a glowing clock right here, or at least I assume that's a clock. Moving backwards with the word duration next to it. And anti-time to the left. And time to the right. And there's also some portals around. When I checked a couple of them before, some of them show up on some of the dimensions, and they just lead you right back to the 0 dimension, so we're not going to mess with those. And the scene in front of us kind of looks like it's time being pulled into a vortex. And I think that's it for the fourth dimension, so we'll go ahead and head on to the fifth dimension, which is the halfway point of our dimension hopping here, and this is waves of probability, or probabilities. And as it says, there are definitely waves here. Lots and lots of waves. Even waves of waves. I'm not sure what blank flame means, or blank frame, whatever that was. And we'll move on to the sixth dimension now, which quantum entanglement under a bit of construction, but still nice. It's quite the title. And the first thing that catches the eye is the giant heart in the room, chained together from the floor and probably the ceiling. And this looks kind of trippy over here. There's an apple on top of this contraption. Looks almost like a speaker or something. There's one interesting blue chain to the back of this, which is the only different colored chain out of the, looks like 6 here, maybe? Okay, so we'll be heading to number 7 now, which is Flower of Life. As you can see, there are plenty of flowers. Flowers in the air, flowers all around us in the dazzling colors. Someone's face far off. Perhaps the creators of this. I don't know. Alrighty, onward to the 8th dimension, phase space original particle display. I guess maybe these are seats over here. Phase space, and as it was promised, there is a particle display on the other side of the room. So let's go ahead and just look at this for a few moments. Definitely does look fairly nice. And we could add our own movement to it by starting to walk towards it. So let's see how it looks now. Very nice. And number 9 on our list is Stairway to Heaven. We're almost to the 10th dimension. For some reason, there's like an invisible ceiling here that's very low. But we can make it up to the door. Though it doesn't open, it's actually a pose thing. You can see flames swirling around the room. Alright, I think it's finally time to head to the 10th dimension. And here we see planets, crystals, icebergs looking things floating around to the dimension of the galaxy. Overall, it was a very nice trip to go through all those dimensions and see how it was all put together. Oh, we just fell. Though I think this would be a good time to end the video anyways, so I hope you guys enjoyed our go-through of an Ascension to the 10th dimension, and I will see you guys in the next video.